Joining us is Michael Allen, a former national security official under George W. Bush. Welcome, Mr. Allen. 30 years is a long time to wait to bring an indictment. What happened with those planes, and why criminal charges being contemplated now?
Well, that was a craven shoot down some time ago, and I think the reason we would bring this up now is a signal to the Cuban regime that we're very, very serious about regime change, if you will, except not by way of military action. I think that was the purpose of Director Radcliffe's visiting of the island recently. I think that's the reason of some of the moves that we've been making of late, to try and dangle out the prospect of some sanctions relief down the road, but not until fundamentally the Cuban state is heading in a different direction. Because today it's only resulted in misery for their people, and we need to figure out a way, as President Trump wants to assert more U.S. power in the region, the Western Hemisphere, a way to work forward with that island so close to us.
All right, Secretary Rubio and you both alluded to this. If the U.S. does offer aid to Cuba, what are some of the reforms that we want to see or expect to see, and can they take place under this current regime? I mean, if they're listening to Secretary Rubio being interviewed and they say, okay, we want to be successful too, what would we tell them to change?
I think we want them to begin to liberalize their economy somewhat. It is in an absolute dreadful state. The reason that they are unable to create wealth on their own is because there are absolutely no incentives and, in fact, a heavy-handed state that prevents them from doing so. The military, the intelligence, they're the ones that dominate the island. If any spoils or riches come into that place, it's immediately kicked to those who were friends with the regime. I think what Secretary Rubio understands in particular is that the Cuban people are industrious, and if only they were able to move forward in such a way, I think we would begin to see a lessening of the humanitarian crisis in Cuba, and that would be great for the United States. Ultimately, we don't want Cuba to tip over, by the way, and cause another humanitarian crisis, which leads to a lot of people getting in boats and maybe coming to Florida, and I don't think we want that migration crisis. So I think they're working very closely. They're dangling the indictment. They're sending the CIA director down to message them, and they're being serious that at the end of the day, you might even get sanctions relief if you can play ball.
That is always the conundrum. How do you get the attention of the government without really hurting the people who are already victimized by a government like the Cuban regime? Michael Allen, thank you for your service in government and for joining us on a Sunday night.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.